Love you.
And we're back. Hi, Mira.
Hi, Brad.
Welcome to another episode.
Another exciting episode of Brad and Mira for the culture.
You seem thrilled.
Yeah, I'm thrilled. This is actually our third take doing this intro because of internet issues, and Brad's not very professional, so he was giggling a lot, and he was, he struggles with professionalism.
To be fair, I'm very drunk.
Yeah, he is very, very drunk. That's true. It 5 o'clock somewhere, right, Brad?
That's right. So you can subscribe to this podcast wherever you listen. Just hit the subscribe button, and you can follow Mira and me on social media. Mira is at Mira Guns on Twitter and Instagram, and I am on Bluesky and Instagram.
That's right. He does not like Twitter. He's making a stand of some kind, and I'm not totally sure what it is, but it seems good.
That's just how I save America.
Yeah. Brad saves America yet again. Always just waiting on Brad to come on through and save you, America. I can't deal with your own shit, can you?
I never tire of saving America.
That's insane. I tire of it all the time, and I don't even do it.
So where are we in the culture, in our fine dystopia? What's happening?
Well, a lot of things are happening that aren't very fun and that are shitty, so we're going to focus on something that truly does not matter, which is Saturday Night Live's 50th anniversary special. This shit's been going on for longer than both Brad and I have been alive. You're not 50, are you? You're 49.
I turned 50 this year, as does Saturday Night Live.
Wow, well, congratulations to Brad on turning 50. You've hit middle age. Congratulations.
There's not going to be a red carpet Radio City Music Hall event to celebrate my 50th later this year.
I mean, not that you know of, but we really could blow up in popularity before then. You never know.
That's right. Who knows what's going to happen? But
can't predict the future.
What do you think, Mira, as a millennial? Because I feel like, as somebody who came of age with Saturday Night Live, I have such reverence for the show as a concept. I've actually talked about this on my podcast before, I think.
This is like what everyone says with SNL, right? Like, we were doing something so new and so edgy and so revolutionary. Like, nothing has ever been like it before. Which is probably true, but I've heard it so many times in the past week.
Well, actually, my take is somewhat different than that. But before I give it, I just want to hear, as a millennial, are you a young millennial or an old millennial? Where do you fall?
I feel like I'm right in the middle, although I don't actually know. What are the years?
I think
I'm 92.
It's 80 through 95, isn't it?
Is it?
I don't know.
I guess I'm a late one. That's insane. Let's see. Years for millennials. 81 to 96. So I'm a very late millennial.
Yeah.
Makes sense why I've got a Gen Z disposition.
Do you?
No, I just like to pretend like the youth thinks I'm cool.
Oh, right. Yeah. Well, I'm way past that point in my life where the youth thinks I'm cool. But I'm curious to know, what is your take on SNL? What do you think, the millennial take on SNL is?
I mean, I think that my take on SNL is shared among a lot of millennials, probably most of them, maybe most of them. I don't know, actually, maybe not. Which is just that, SNL, when I was younger, the 2010s era, was actually, I thought, really fucking funny. Really, really good. Kristen Wiig and, Fred Armisen, that era of SNL was hilarious. I thought it was so funny growing up. Fucking that Lawrence Welk show bit with Kristen Wiig where she's like, and I'm Judy. That shit cracks my ass up. It's so fucking good. But I feel ever since that cast was gone, it's really gone downhill. I feel like I haven't found it genuinely funny in a really, really long time. Probably since that last cast was there. I feel like a lot of it has just become very, samey and trite and just kind of all right, we get it. Alec Baldwin is doing a bad Trump impression. Where's the joke? Kind of, it doesn't, I think it was really edgy at one point. It doesn't feel like that anymore. And I don't really feel like their comedy, it just, doesn't hit me as hard as it once did.
I think a lot of people feel that way. It's you have your favorite cast. It goes in and it goes out. It goes up and it goes down.
And there's still some funny cast now, but as a whole, it's I feel like it hasn't been great for a decade.
So my take on SNL is, in terms of assessing my own affection for it, and I think it's not necessarily uncommon to feel this way, is that I love SNL as a concept, like a live comedy show on Saturday night in the United States, which is a largely unhappy country. People are just, I mean, people in general, not just the Americans, but people in general have,
But the Americans especially.
yeah, just have a hard time. And I think this idea that like adults can get together and watch a comedy show that plays live on TV, and try to be funny, try to have a laugh, try to be grown-ups, acting like children essentially.
Mhm.
Like that as a concept is worth cheering for.
Yeah. I guess like the concept of being funny is something to to applaud, but like live it's hard. That's also something to applaud for sure. But like I don't know, so it just like lost its juice somehow. Like it was like there was some writers there or something who were really doing it well, and then it just kind of fell off. Like it feels like even the skits I'm supposed to find funny now I don't find funny.
Well, Lorne Michaels is he's steering the ship. He's 80. Like at some
He's
point,
annoying as hell. He's gotta fucking quit.
I mean,
Give
it's
somebody else the job.
he's like this like outsized like Svengali kind of like overlord thing.
Also, I have a bone to pick with Lorne Michaels, and that is that Kenan Thompson deserves 200% more credit than he ever gets for being on this show. Like he is the longest running SNL cast member of all time. He is the backbone of Saturday Night Live, and without him, I genuinely think their whole shit would fall apart. Like this anniversary should have had like, and maybe they did, I don't know, but they should have had like an entire 10-minute segment just honoring Kenan because he's that good at what he does. Like he deserves more. Like he deserves a crown.
Give Keenan his crown.
And he's been doing it since he was like 12 on fucking Nickelodeon. Like it shit's crazy.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I think the reason he stays on Saturday Night Live, he's got like a lot of kids, I want to say.
Yeah, he does. He's got a big family.
I guess it's like a grind to do that. You're up late, and it's a real weird schedule to keep. But
Totally.
if you're a comedy actor, you like sketch comedy, like where else are you going to go?
Right. And it seems like he's just like, all right, I've got a good gig here. I'm just going to keep it and stay in it. And like, I don't like he's making good money. He's just like, I'm just going to support my family and chill. I respect that.
Yeah, I respect it too. But I was just I was reading, they did a big profile of Lorne Michaels in the New Yorker to kind of mark the 50th, which like just as as a basic achievement, the fact that like one television show has been on the air for 50 consecutive years, that alone deserves some applause. Like that's incredible.
Yeah. Is it the longest running show?
I want to say 60 minutes is another one that might be longer. There's only a small handful. Like the thing is that the concept of the show with the celebrity host and the musical act and the sketch comedy, like whatever formula he concocted is just like incredibly flexible and durable.
Yeah, you can just do it over and over in different ways.
That's what I'm saying. And like you can just cycle in new cast. That's actually a virtue. The fact that you change it out and make it new every few years. But
totally.
They I want to say in this profile, Lorne Michaels was talking about, or the writer was writing about, how the show is sort of like intentionally middlebrow to appeal to the widest audience. Like part of the reason for its longevity is also probably the reason why I almost never laugh at it.
Yeah, and also like kind of like goes against that whole like, wow, SNL is like so brave, they were doing something that nobody else does. Like no, they're actually going for like middle of the road comedy that like doesn't appeal too much or too little to anybody.
but like
that's lame for like comedy. Like it's crazy that he would like admit that, because that seems like the opposite of what you're supposed to do with comedy.
But the thing is, like the interesting question to ask is like, if the show were in different hands or it took some sort of different tack and was super edgy, would it still be on the air? Probably not.
I mean, if it was like as edgy as it was in the 2010s, I feel like why not?
It wasn't, but I don't think
not even there anymore.
I don't think it was any edgier. I really don't.
Well, it was edgy, not like politically, but like weirdness wise. Like they had a lot of like sketches on there that like were just strange and like didn't make a ton of sense, but were still super funny. Like the Lawrence Welk one where she's like got the tiny baby hands, or like that weird one where like Kenan Thompson is like a French guy, and like that's kind of the whole sketch. Like that shit was so fucking funny, and it feels like they don't take that kind of risk anymore. That kind of like, we're gonna just throw a really weird sketch out there and see if people find it funny or not. Like or like David S. Pumpkins, like that kind of thing. Like it's so much more rare now to see a truly strange sketch like that on SNL. Like and it feels like those are a lot of the risks that they're probably avoiding.
Well, they usually put the weird sketches at the end, like the later
Yeah.
into the night. They don't lead with those typically, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it has something to do with who the actors are, or who the sketch comedians are, who's in the writer's room. And,
yeah, the writer's room makes all the difference, like for sure.
So, but anyway, 50 years, like you got to salute. Trying to make people laugh in this sad world is a good thing.
Yeah.
And it's an incredible achievement to be I have a lot of respect for stamina, like just sticking it out, keeping it rolling, not quitting.
Yeah, you must not have any respect for me then, huh? Because I have no stamina to save my fucking life.
Yeah. Come on. Well, look, Mira, this is our 33rd conversation for the Brad and Mira for the Culture podcast. I think this is maybe the longest running venture of your life.
That is, well, I had a job for 2.5 years one time.
Whoa.
So,
okay, so is that what we got to try to beat if we can do this for 2.6 years?
2.5 years. Well, I've been married for like 8 or 7 also. So
well, no, there you go. That's your
business wise, though. That's that. Yeah, 2.5 years would be the limit business wise.
All right. Well, I think that the SNL, like what bits of it I saw, kind of funny. Steve Martin gave like a monologue. Like I think he opened it, and he's always good. I'm kind of in awe of him. He's never bad in anything.
He's never bad. It's crazy. Like you see even like older comedy of him when he was like young, and he's still so fucking funny. Like, and like weirdly family friendly. Like I feel like everybody just loves him, and like there's no like controversy really. Like he's just universally hilarious and beloved
and like respected too. It's not just like, oh, there's the silly man who makes the kids laugh. It's like, oh, there's the silly man who also writes for the New Yorker.
right. And who is like dating Meryl Streep.
Oh no, that's Martin Short, but
right.
Steve Martin is also like a fabulous art collector who plays the banjo,
of course,
all this shit.
And the star of one of my favorite movies of all time, Bowfinger. Love that movie.
Oh really?
Oh yeah, it's so fucking funny.
I think you told me that. I think we talked about that. You were like, I can't believe you haven't seen Bowfinger.
Yeah, you got to watch it. It's truly amazing. But Steve Martin was on SNL, right?
I think so. I can't even. Yeah, because Wild and Crazy Guys, right? He was on one of the early seasons.
Oh yeah, right. Just 3 wild and crazy guys.
Unless he was like celebrity hosting. I didn't start watching the show regularly until the 80s because I was young. Like it was such a big deal. Like the Eddie Murphy seasons. That's when I really remember locking in.
I mean, God, all the Eddie Murphy sketches are so fucking funny. He was so fucking funny.
Well, they did a skit. It was Kenan Thompson and Tracy Morgan and Eddie Murphy, and Eddie Murphy was playing Tracy Morgan, and Tracy Morgan was playing like someone else. Eddie Murphy's Tracy Morgan impression is so funny.
Oh, I'll bet it's amazing. I gotta watch that. That seems really fucking good.
And I think like if I had to point to a comedic performer who most consistently makes me laugh, it would be Tracy Morgan. Like,
I mean, on 30 Rock, like fucking 10 laughs an episode. Like
that's what I mean. So good. Like just him he's a person who's funny. Like
right. Like everything he says is naturally funny coming out of his mouth somehow.
Yeah. He's just got that thing where like you just like he walks in the room, you're like, oh shit. Like,
right. There he is.
He's funny.
So good. He's really got they really like wrote that 30 Rock part perfectly. They were just like, yes, only Tracy Morgan. Like this is like exactly what we need. It's so fucking funny.
Yeah. So anyway, what else happened at SNL? I'm trying to think. I mean, I just watched a couple sketches. It was fine.
Well, so I didn't watch the show. I watched the concert, and I watched David Byrne perform Dancing on My Own with Robin, and I literally cried. So I hope that that warms your Gen X heart. And then we also have so we are creating a new segment. We're calling it Brad's Fashion Corner. And we're gonna
Brad's Fashion Corner.
Brad's Fashion Corner. Cute theme song. So This segment is utilizing Brad's newly discovered fashion talents to have him analyze some outfits. And this episode, we're going to be analyzing the SNL 50 outfits.
Okay, well, I should tell people who are listening, maybe for the first time, that in recent episodes, it has been discovered that I am really good at evaluating fashion, like knowing when someone's wearing a good outfit.
Yeah, he's got the man's got taste. He's a real Anna Wintour up and coming. So look out for Brad in the fashion world because his fashion takes are incredible. A+.
I'm the next. What's that guy's the big black guy who wore all those crazy outfits? Andre or whatever his name was.
Oh yeah, Andre Leon Talley.
Yeah, I'm the next Andre Leon Talley.
I met him once and he was so rude to me and I loved it. Oh my god, I was like, thank you, Andre. like I love you so much. Yeah,
Wait,
he died.
He died. Okay.
Yeah, but he yeah, so try to channel him at least, while you're doing these fashion critiques. Try to get in the Andre Leon Talley mindset.
I'm in it. I'm in it right now. I'm locked in.
Brad Leon Listi. Okay, so our first outfit is Emma Stone and her husband, who's probably somebody, but to me looks like a nameless white guy.
I think he was a writer on SNL.
Was he? Oh, that's why I see. A lot of these, like Scarlett Johansson also. A surprising amount of the people on this show were married to SNL people, and I did not know.
I mean, it's a very elite. To me, like SNL is sort of like the Harvard of comedy for sure, but also like just kind of a elite talent factory.
Yeah.
And it's like working at the best law firm. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like it's like Chris Rock always says, like, I haven't been broke ever since I met Lorne Michaels. Like, if you work on that show, you're going to get paid.
Good. Yeah. Like other people will want to pay you. And like besides, Saturday Night Live, like if Lorne Michaels gives you a stamp of approval, then everyone is going to want to pay you to do shit forever.
Right.
So our first look of the night is Emma Stone with whoever the fuck SNL guy. We're not looking at his outfit, it's boring, but her outfit is a red dress. It's custom. I want to say Louis Vuitton, but I don't know for sure. It is a halter neck top that has just a string going around her neck, and then in the sides of the dress where like a peplum would go, there are two big pockets, and they're both full of popcorn. And then she's got like her like Rosemary's Baby short haircut and a pair of like satin red heels to go with it. Brad, your thoughts?
Love it. Like fun, like fun and funny. It's appropriately funny. The popcorn is like whimsical, and yet it works. And I'm assuming that was part of the idea, right? The popcorn.
Yeah. It'd be funnier even if she like just put it in the dress and that wasn't supposed to be it, but I think it had to have been part of the idea.
Yeah. So, and she looks fabulous. And I thought that her like to be able to wear that haircut as well as she does,
incredible, is
rare, and it looks so good on her. She's just, she's just a shiny star. I think she's very talented. She seems like such a good, kind person. Maybe it's all bullshit, but she seems like
she's got good taste in movies. Like she's like,
she's
movie she's been in recently, like I'm like, yes, good job. Like she's been in weird shit and I really, really like it.
Yeah, no, I'm rooting for her, and she seems like she knows what she's doing, and she's like, she's got all the pieces, all the pieces. Yeah. She's good style, good taste in movies, like big talent as an actress, and got a sense of humor, but can also do drama. She's sort of like multi-talented. What do you call her? Like a five tool. I think in sports they call it like
trades.
Jacqueline of all trades.
Yeah, Jacqueline of all trades. So next outfit.
Yeah, next outfit. And by the way, her husband has a nice tux on too. I mean, it's simple and it's traditional, but it's not.
But it's well fitting.
That's right.
It's like I can tell that the pants are like up a little bit higher, which seems like a much more flattering style for men, and like the jacket is cut well. Like, yeah, he looks great. They both look great.
Good job, guys.
Next outfit. Good job, everybody. Keep up the good work. So next we have Anya Taylor-Joy, who is in it's Mugler. I don't know if it's new or if it's like a vintage piece, but it's like so it's like got like the classic Mugler corset for those who don't know, and then she's wearing it's got like a collar, but a stand-up straight collar, And then the sides of the corset have little peplums coming out of her waist, and it's long sleeved. So like the collar kind of serves as like a puff sleeve, like a 40 style, and it is kind of an orange satin. And then she is wearing a long velvet skirt. I can't see the shoes,
Oh,
and her
because
hair is kind of put down.
I can't even tell if that is a skirt. I thought those were pants.
Yeah, it's a long velvet skirt. You can tell if you like look up like that it doesn't separate into pants. It's just like a weird lighting thing.
Yeah, I would almost have to see it to fully like I need to like to fully evaluate this. But I will say
Yeah.
like I don't hate it. I don't love it. And I think that the color choice is the first thing that comes to mind here for me because
Bingo.
she's so fair, and she's got this blonde, kind of like platinum white blonde hair, and then she's got this yellow gold top on, and it kind of washes her out.
That's
And
I couldn't agree more.
yeah, I think if you put this top on in like a burgundy color or like some sort of like deep purple or deep green, like something to like, or like a red even, like to
Hmm.
really like draw contrast with her porcelain skin and fine features and this blonde hair, it might be more striking. And that said, I'm not even sure I'm sold on the skirt as like the tandem piece with this kind of top. I don't
It's a little weird.
It's a little weird because it's like it's a long skirt, right?
Hmm. It's like floor length, and
It's
it's like
fl-
tight on top, almost like a floor length pencil skirt that kind of flares out at the knees.
yeah, I'm not into this. I would advise a different choice if I were her stylist.
I got to agree. I as much as I love Mugler and like everything he does, and I'm sure that this corset is like just like a fashion marvel that fits like a glove. I couldn't agree more that it washes her out. It's really not a good color for her. And I'll tell you why, Brad, to add to your fashion repertoire. It's because she is cool toned and not warm toned. She is a winter, not a summer. So this is a very, very warm tone. It's like a warm yellow, orangey gold. And like that does not suit her. She shouldn't be wearing pastels. She shouldn't be wearing like light colors like that. She needs to be wearing darker, like you were saying, more contrast, like things like greens, blues, blacks, burgundies, and so this is just like not her color scheme. It's not working for her.
I agree. By the way, did you notice that I wrapped this sweatshirt around my neck so I could look like Andre Leon Talley? I was trying to.
That's why you did that. I thought you were cold.
No.
It does kind of look like Andre Leon Talley at that big like fur situation
Yeah.
or whatever.
So for those of you listening, I wrapped my hoodie around my neck to try to look fashionable.
It kind of looks like an airplane pillow, but we'll let it slide. So we have one more outfit from SNL 50, and that is we have, is this Joel Kim Booster? No, this is Bowen Yang. We have Bowen Yang in a suit. I'm not sure who made it, but it is like a red satin double-breasted blazer with matching pants, and then the suit has kind of like a pattern on it that's kind of hard to see. It's like I don't know, it's like a dot pattern basically. It looks like a red polka dot pattern basically, and then a white shirt and a black velvet bow tie. Brad?
I like it. I think it fits really well. I think the double-breasted looks good. I think it's whimsical and fun. Again, context matters so much, but
Mm-hmm.
this guy's going to he's an SNL cast member. He's a very funny guy, and he's going to the 50th anniversary special celebration. To just go in in some sort of like traditional black tux wouldn't be right. You got to kind of go for it, I feel like.
Yeah.
And I want to say Bowen Yang is like a gay icon too, isn't
Mm-hmm.
he?
Yeah.
So, you factor in all these different things, and I think that the choice that he made here is great. I think the color is cool. The bow tie looks kind of like old schoolish, or it's kind of like a bigger bow tie.
Yeah, it's like a big like velvet bow tie. I don't even know what you call it, but it's like one of those like double bow ties where it's got like two loops instead of one. Like it's yeah, it looks kind of vintagey or something.
Yeah, and then are those French cuffs? I don't even know what the right terminology is, but he's got like
I
the white cuffs that extend beyond the suit coat, the red
I
suit
don't know if
coat.
they might be French cuffs. I'm not as good with like fashion terms for male fashion, but yeah, it's like it's got like a slit in the cuff. It doesn't have any cuff length, so it goes out like kind of towards like to like the bottom of his thumb
Yeah, I kind of like that. I kind of like the way
I
that
love it.
looks. Yeah,
Yeah, I think it looks great. I mean, I think this is the kind of outfit that if he were a straight man, he might not be able to pull it off. This is kind of like, this one's for the gays. This is like not for the straight guys, because like Bowen has a swagger about him that allows him to pull off a red polka dotted suit like really well, I think.
that's right.
With
It's
the
right.
glasses and stuff. Also, great example of somebody who is also cool toned wearing a burgundy, like you were saying before, and it looks
That's
great
right.
on him.
That's right. He looks great.
Yeah. So that is the end of our fashion segment for this week. Please stay tuned for more listy hot takes on fashion. There will
Brad's
be
fashion.
more in
Brad's
the coming
fashion corner.
episodes. Brad's fashion corner. So, Brad, what's our first story of the day?
I think it has to do with Kevin Spacey.
Oh, good. My favorite.
So I think what happened is that Guy Pearce came out and said that he was targeted by Kevin Spacey years ago.
Mm-hmm. And then Kevin Spacey dropped another one of his psychotic videos where he's like responding to somebody by, I don't know, wearing his glasses and being like, "How dare you?" in his fucking weird accent.
Do we have
So
audio? Do we have audio of Kevin Spacey
let's
talking?
see. I actually haven't even listened to it yet. Myself, I just woke up and I was like, "Huh, we should talk about this." So let's see if I can get audio from it.
I wonder where
So,
Kevin Spacey is. He in California, or does he live is he hiding somewhere? Is he living in like,
right, is he like hiding in the Cayman Islands or something like that?
yeah, where is he?
Oh, good, an ad. So while we're waiting for the video to load, basically, yeah, so Guy Pearce came out and said that Kevin Spacey, was being aggressive with him on set. And Kevin Spacey said that it's, quote, bogus. Said that Pierce said, "I was sort of scared of Kevin because he's quite an aggressive man. He's extremely charming and brilliant at what he does, really impressive, etc. He holds a room remarkably. But I was young and susceptible. He targeted me, no question." And so here we have
I don't doubt that at all.
yeah, of course not. It's exactly the same as everybody else's story. Like, everyone has the same fucking Kevin Spacey story. So the video is 2 minutes. He won't subject you to all of it, but let's just listen to a clip from the very beginning.
About me, and while I would have preferred not to have to play this out in the media, you obviously have your own reasons for wanting to do exactly that. But we worked together a long time ago. If I did something then that upset you, you could have reached out to me. We could have had that conversation. But instead, you've decided to speak to the press, who are now, of course, coming after me because they would like to know what my response is to the things that you said. You really want to know what my response is? Grow up.
So that's the beginning of the video. He goes on for like 2 more minutes. Like, so, okay, first of all, Guy Pearce, is he gay or no?
I don't know.
I have no idea. I honestly, like, just barely recognize this man's face. I'm so fucking bad with white guy faces.
Like, how did Kevin Spacey never get beat up? Like,
I
do you know what I'm
mean,
saying? Like, you're groping guys. Like, there's got to be at least one guy who was like, "Okay, buddy, like, you gotta."
I think just because he like is specifically going after guys who like aren't confident enough to have done that. Like, he's going after like, he's like giving people roles on movies, giving them the role of a lifetime and then assaulting them, or he's like,
Right.
it's always like 19-year-olds or, like models and like all of these things where they're just like struggling in New York City or whatever. And he's just totally taking advantage of it. Cause I think like there's a reason why we haven't heard a lot of these stories from other celebrities. And I think there's a reason why this one occurred in like the 90s. It's like, Guy Pearson, he couldn't come out about it at first. He couldn't beat up Kevin Spacey either, right? He's in LA Confidential. Like that's your coworker.
You don't think Guy Pearce could beat up Kevin Spacey?
I mean, he certainly could, but I don't think that he would have back in the day when he's like on set with him trying to be like an actor that's amicable.
Plus, like, Kevin Spacey's so psycho. Who knows? He could freak out on you.
I mean, how like 2 or 3 of the people who accused Kevin Spacey have like died under mysterious circumstances. So yeah, like he would do some shit. Like he's a frightening, frightening man.
I think, many episodes ago, I told the story of my friend whose roommate got hit on by Kevin Spacey.
Right.
Kevin Spacey came back to their house and was doing bong hits. And just to make things, full circle, Kevin Spacey brought in a VHS tape of himself hosting Saturday Night Live. And they, as you will recall, watched Kevin Spacey hosting Saturday Night Live with Kevin Spacey, and they were all smoking pot. And then Kevin Spacey started groping my friend's roommate, and
Nightmarish.
things got weird.
Truly nightmarish. Like, fucking insane. And then, like, Kevin Spacey isn't responding and saying, I didn't do that. Why are you accusing me of it? He's clearly responding and saying, like, grow up. That wasn't assault. Which is, like, not a great response considering the accusations here. Like, what the fuck? Like, oh yeah, grow up. We could have dealt with this outside of the media. Like, so you're not even denying it?
I mean, yeah, I don't know what the legal ramifications would be, but like if he were to deny it and to start accusing Guy Pearce of being a liar.
Seems like he's doing that almost, but not quite.
Well, that's the thing. Like, couldn't Guy Pearce then bring like a defamation suit? I don't know how this all works.
But then couldn't Kevin Spacey bring a defamation suit saying, like, I'm not a rapist? And then, like, you end up having to prove Kevin Spacey is a rapist in order to win your trial?
Yeah, just the dude just needs to go away.
Yeah.
Like, is he working? Is Kevin Spacey getting acting work?
No, I don't think so, no. He's just, like, in hiding somewhere, like, with his fucking weird ass, like, doing those weird Christmas videos and shit like that. I think he just, like, kept one of his mansions and just hides. I know. Wonder what his, like, house staff is like.
I bet you he's in financial trouble.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, is he trying in any way to, like, make more money?
I don't know how he would, but I think he spent a lot, and I think he spent a lot when he was like in his prime. I don't think he necessarily thought that the gravy train was going to stop rolling. And then I think he's probably paid a lot of lawyers.
Yeah, right. That's true. And probably paid all those hitmen to kill those young men who were accusing him.
Okay, who knows, man? What a dark character. Did you see that documentary? I mean, we talked about that documentary, I think is what it was.
That documentary, yeah, was truly horrific. Like, just horrifying shit. Like, I mean, you're like, yeah, I see why he was close with Epstein. He was, like, just as bad but less powerful.
Yeah, like, think about it. Some guy's like, hey, Kevin Spacey groped me and was like sexually harassing me on set when I was like on a movie with him. And Kevin Spacey, who's already been proven,
already famous.
Well, I mean, he's already the sort of a done deal at this point. We know who he is. He's like a serial abuser.
Yeah.
There's so many people have come forward at this point that it's pretty much irrefutable. And so it's not like it's a debate. You know, like the public sort of has made up its mind on this. The industry has made up its mind on it. So then a guy comes out and says, yeah, it was me too, basically. And he was doing this to me when I was a young actor. And Kevin Spacey from exile makes a video. And what he says is, grow up.
Yeah. Like, that's wild. Like, this, like, why does he feel like he can do that without ramifications? Like,
you mean back in the day or now?
I mean, both. But I guess, like, now it just seems like doing that is like you're saying, legal trouble. It's like just like publicity wise, if he does need to make money, it's not a good way to respond. You should be saying, like, I deny these accusations or nothing.
Or sorry, like, God, I was a mess.
Yeah.
I'm getting help. I'm so sorry.
Right.
I've owed you an apology for like the last 15 years or whatever.
I mean, that's Kevin Spacey is going the Roy Cohn route, though, of just not apologizing for anything and not admitting that he did anything wrong, which isn't really working for him.
Good God. What a weirdo.
Yeah, what a fucking freak. It's, I mean, it makes you maybe realize why he was cast specifically to play that guy in Seven, like, in the movie Seven. Like, okay, like, because at the time it's like, I don't know, like, he's not, like, doesn't instantly come off as a serial killer, but now he does. Now it's like, okay, this man is a serial killer. I get it. That totally makes sense.
He's got remarkable access to the darkest aspects of the human character.
He just tunes into it in just a second.
Yeah, it's amazing how he can tap into the mind of a sociopath.
In just less than a second, and then he can just snap back to Kevin Spacey, and it's like nothing changed.
Yeah, this is the thing. Like, well, I don't know, because I think there are exceptions. There are actors who project a kind of darkness like really easily on screen, and they're not problematic human beings in some kind of like really miserable way. But
I mean, I think like you see like Bill Skarsgård, he plays like, Nosferatu, and he plays Pennywise, but he seems like a totally normal, nice guy otherwise.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. There's something about it where I'm like, oh yeah, all the signs were there. It's like when when Louis C.K. got busted for jerking off in front of these women, and it was kind of his whole thing kind of fell apart. And
Yeah.
I remember, and I used to, and I've talked about this on the show, but I had lunch with a friend years before that, and she had been in New York and had been sort of in the comedy scene and had been at a party with Louis C.K. and he did that to her, and
Jesus.
she told me about it. And this was, I think, when the show Louis was on, and it was like the best thing
Wow.
going. Everybody was so into that show, right? Remember, it was like such a
Yeah.
good TV show. And I remember listening to her, and what I thought in my mind, what I told myself was this: he was just like a really sloppy drunk. Like I
Nope.
thought he was just hammered. You know what I'm saying? I kind of felt bad for him. I was like, oh my God, he must be so embarrassed. That's what I
No,
thought.
I've said it. Yeah, I mean, that's like the thing is about men who are actually like nice and good people is that they don't really meet bad men. If there's a man who's bad, he's going to hide it from you because he can see that you're not bad like him, right? He's never going to be like, oh, yeah, I'm jerking off in front of girls in rooms all the time because like he knows you'll be like, what the hell? Like, that's insane.
That is
But
the
like,
weirdest thing to want to do.
I mean, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Like, being an alcoholic doesn't turn you into an abuser, racist, like, whatever. Like, if you got blackout drunk, you would not immediately try to sexually assault somebody by locking them in a room and jerking off, like that's a him problem. It's not an alcohol problem. Exactly. Like, I see why it's easy to be like, oh well, I don't know, he seems like a nice enough guy, I guess he just made a mistake, but I guess these are the warning signs.
I guess. I think Louis C.K. would do that sober. Like, I don't even think he had
Oh
to
yeah,
be.
he absolutely would. But just like your thought, maybe he was like drunk or whatever. Like, even if he was, it's like, okay, but
I
you
just
did
couldn't.
that.
I couldn't compute it because it was like at a
Yeah.
party. It was at a party.
It's
Like it.
like such a weird thing to want at all, and then to like force it is like fucking so weird.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't even. It never even occurred to me that could be like something that he was like doing in a kind of
Yeah.
serial way to like get off. I was like, whoa.
Right, it does seem like a weird one-time sloppy, like, oh, that was a mess kind of situation or something. Like,
Like
it's like,
I was in a blackout and literally had no idea what I was doing. That's what I thought.
right.
But
But I mean, even then, like, if you're in a blackout and you do that, like, sorry, buddy, that something's wrong. It's not just that you're in a blackout.
well, at least like the next day you could be like, oh my God, I'm going to check into rehab. Like, I'm so sorry. Like that would
Right,
be,
yeah. That'd be
but,
the correct response. But,
yeah.
he was stone cold sober. He was just raw dogging life and jerking off at people in rooms.
And yet, like, still, I think he still does stand up. I think he still, like,
He does. He's got like, he did like the Dave Chappelle route of just being like, okay, now that everyone hates me, like, I'm a conservative transphobe and like, fuck all of you. Like, I'm playing Madison Square Garden, but like, I'm being silenced. Like, that whole fucking thing that he does. Like, it's a very specific fan base who like him now.
the Louis C.K. biopic is going to be so interesting.
Who would you cast a star in it?
Who would be a good Louis C.K. in the biopic?
Like, I almost want to say like Paul Giamatti, like not as like and to be clear, I love Paul Giamatti and I think he's incredible. But if he like gained a bunch of weight and you dyed his hair red,
yeah,
like maybe.
I mean, it would be an interesting film because the guy was at the peak, right? He was at the peak of his career, and then it all just like tumbled down, and like
because he could not jerk off in front of women.
Oh my God,
it's like the most pathetic shit.
Yeah, but I mean, he had to have known like the whole time, like that could go, that story could break at any moment.
And it was many stories like that. Like, he must have known like one of these stories could break at any moment, but I'm still gonna go jerk off in front of another woman in a room.
You just can't stop myself.
You just can't stop. You just can't fucking stop. It's got to crank that hog.
Don't ever say that again.
Crank that hog. So, moving on to another topic before Brad quits the podcast and podcasting entirely. Our next story is about one of our favorite celebrities, Taylor Swift. So we covered the Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni lawsuit in a previous episode, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I still kind of barely understand it. It seems like it was a really contentious set and that Blake Lively really felt abused by Justin Baldoni, but Justin Baldoni, I don't know, felt like she was annoying or something. It's ongoing and fucking ridiculous, and I don't actually understand it at all. But this
Wait,
article
and
is from
and just like, because Justin Baldoni, I never even heard of him until
yeah, who
this.
the fuck is this guy? I had literally not heard of him. Like, okay, like let's Google it, because what the fuck else did he do?
Yeah, where did he come from? Why is he in
Right.
my life?
Why is he in my life exactly? Like, why am I having to think about this man?
Exactly.
He was in Jane the Virgin, and he directed something called 5 Feet Apart. Who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah.
What the hell? He's like an actor, I guess, and then he expanded to directing, but he hasn't like directed anything exciting or anything I've ever heard of.
Is his career over? Is he done because of this?
I mean, I think he's done unless like he really comes with a good case against Blake Lively. Like right now I see like everybody is kind of like leaning towards his side of things. I'm seeing like most people being like, wow, like fuck Blake Lively. But that was also what happened with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, and then the tide turned hard the other way. So maybe people just need like, I don't know, a lost lawsuit in a couple months distance to realize that like fuck this guy. It seems insane. I really don't. I mean, it seems like he wasn't really getting work before this, so I guess if he goes back to not getting any work after this, what's the difference?
Yeah, exactly. But it's just wild that he went from like being like what, a guy on Jane the Virgin to like directing a movie
Right.
with Blake Lively in it. Like it just seems
Of a Colleen Hoover novel. Like, how did he even do that? Like,
right.
So this story specifically, it's about Taylor Swift's role in this lawsuit. So I guess there was a part of the lawsuit in which there were texts from Blake Lively to Justin Baldoni. And the alleged texts says that I guess it's fucking weird that Blake Lively referred to Taylor as one of her dragons and referred to herself as Khaleesi, which like let's be real, it's the other way around.
Wait. Referred to Taylor as one of her dragons, like Blake is, and Khaleesi is the queen from Game of Thrones. So she's the queen, and Taylor
she's
is
like,
one
I'm
of
directing my group of dragons who will attack you if I tell them to.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah, and I guess this comes from Taylor Swift unfollowed him or something like that, and now his lawsuit is claiming that Taylor Swift did the same thing that she does with her ex-boyfriends, which is like have all of her friends out to dinner and then all of her friends unfollow them while they're at dinner. But like that's just like Taylor Swift unfollowing him, so I don't really understand why that is part of the lawsuit. Like it's not like that's not abuse or anything close to it.
Right.
But either way, Taylor Swift has been dragged into this lawsuit in which Blake Lively humiliatingly said that Taylor Swift was one of her dragons, even though like I mean it is so delusional to be friends with Taylor Swift at the level of fame Blake Lively is at and think that Taylor is one of your dragons and not the other way around, because like let's be real, Blake is one of the dragons.
It's also just weird to talk like that, period. To be like,
it's so weird. It's so weird. It's like, what the fuck? Like, that's like, it's psychotic. It's like truly psychotic. Like the fact that she said that, I was like, Jesus Christ. Okay. Like maybe this woman is bad news. I don't know. And it seems like she is, but
it sort of reminds me of like when a celebrity gets pulled over for like a DUI and they're like, don't you know who I am?
Yeah. Don't you know? Right. Right. Like, he's like, don't you know that I'm friends with Taylor Swift?
Yeah. She's like basically like trying to flex, and it just looks all, now that it's public, right. It just seems
be like, I'll send Taylor Swift after you or whatever the fuck, which is just like such a stupid thing to say.
And by the way, I would imagine, I could be wrong, but I would imagine that Blake Lively knows that she fucked up.
She must. I mean, yeah. Like for that text to go public like that, like she must know in a big way that she fucked up bad.
So imagine being like buddies with Taylor to the point where you're like hanging out at events and, you know, having dinner together, and then you piss her off and she starts icing you. I would bet that Blake Lively is like losing sleep over this. That's
I
what I
mean,
would
I
bet.
would. Like, if I was friends with Taylor Swift since 2014 or whatever the fuck, and then some embarrassing shit like that, like, I would never say something that psychotic, but if that came out in the public, like, I'd be like, oh, fuck. Like, I'm over. My career, and, like, honest to God, if anything is going to end her career, it's not the "it ends with us" drama, but it is, like, her friendship with Taylor Swift going south. If it ever comes out that, like, she did something bad to Taylor Swift, she's done for. She needs to go and like hide wherever Kevin Spacey is hiding because like she will be murdered. um and I mean this article seems to make it seem like there is an issue. I mean it's not like confirmed, but it's one of those things where it's like a source who is close to Taylor has told us.
Is this Tree Pain?
Well, usually yes, you know, like depending on the article, like if it's like an article that clearly is meant to like push a narrative that's for Taylor, then yeah, it's Street Pain. And like
Tree Pain is Taylor's private publicist.
that's right. Yeah, it's Taylor's publicist, who is like one of the most intense ladies in the entire music industry, from what I've heard. Which I guess you have to be her publicist.
And to
So
have
like this
and to have a name like Tree Pain.
truly, like you know, nobody is making fun of her name with like how fucking powerful and terrifying she is.
I mean, that is a fucking name. Tree
It's
Pain.
a name. It's really a name. And like she could have gone by Teresa, but she went by Tree.
All right.
So this might honestly be a Tree Pain article because it does like show like Taylor didn't want this. This was like not something that Taylor ever wanted to be a part of. And this source is saying that the pop star is, quote, taking a break from their friendship right now, and that Taylor is really hurt by the whole situation and feels like a pawn. I mean, yeah, Blake Lively must be just like home pacing the fucking floor of her house and like popping Xanax once an hour because like Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I bet you she's like, I'm trying to guess what will happen. If she's not made a move yet, like in terms of, I'm sure she's like huddling with Ryan and they're like, how do we fix this?
Oh, I'm sure all their
And
publicists are like having an emergency meeting as we speak.
or it's like I could see Blake like writing a handwritten apology note. Something.
Yeah, but even then, all the publicists are over there helping her handwrite the apology note.
Is that how this
Like,
works? You get a team? You get a team of people
yeah,
involved?
dude, no celebrity like writes a letter or posts an apology unless it was like looked at by their publicity team. Like something that's this important, especially. Like she definitely, like even if it's just a letter to Taylor Swift privately, she's getting help. Like for sure. Like, and so it's saying that Taylor Swift is keeping her distance, saying Taylor wants nothing to do with this ordeal. She's always been a loyal friend to Blake and doesn't appreciate being thrown into this all. Yeah, that is bad news, bro. Like, especially since she's like throwing around her Taylor like Swift friendship to like intimidate somebody like who I'm sure she has told Taylor is sexually harassing her, which he probably was. Like, Taylor must be so fucking mad. Like, if there's one thing that Taylor will not forgive, it is bad publicity. Like, her friend got her terrible publicity by doing this, by saying, like, Taylor's one of my dragons, dragging her into this lawsuit. And Taylor views that probably as a bigger slight than, like, anything that a friend could do.
Did you hear the story about Taylor Swift trying to stop Saturday Night Live from running that song? It was like some sort of like
It was like a
pre-recorded
Bad
sketch
Blood parody.
about like Swifties and how they're like a psychotic cult.
So
And,
it was like in the 1989 era when she was friends with all those models, and then she came out with a music video called Bad Blood, in which all the models were like spies, like, I don't know, killing people or whatever the fuck, like action movie shit. And they did, yeah.
She called Lorne Michaels and was like, Lorne, don't do this. I don't want you to do this. And he was like, Taylor, this is my Lorne Michaels impression.
Yeah, here we go. Brad impressions.
It's like, well, I'm sorry, Taylor, but I don't negotiate with terrorists.
Like, kind of sounds like RFK, not gonna lie.
Well, but I kind of respect Lorne Michaels. I mean, this girl, Taylor was what, in her 20s at the time?
Yeah, she
she's a
was a
big
child.
and she's like calling him up, like telling him how to run his show. I'm just like, who is this girl? But what's interesting is that he's like, I don't negotiate with terrorists. Bye. I'm running the piece, or I'm going to run the sketch or whatever. And then it ran and everybody thought it was funny. And then like, I want to say on Monday after it ran, like a very nice like gift basket or some such arrived at 30 Rock in Lorne Michaels' office. And it was from Taylor Swift. And she was like, it's all
Like, I hope
good.
we're good or something.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
she like I think she quickly realized that it was like a bad move, and
I
then
mean,
it ran, and everybody just had a laugh, and you got to be able to laugh at yourself, etc.
I think that like there's a couple of different components to the story because I saw it and I've also been thinking about it. Like saying to Taylor Swift, "I don't negotiate with terrorists," like is kind of objectively funny. Like in all fairness, that's a really funny thing to say.
Totally, I love it.
But like I have to imagine, like to the point where I'm like 99.9% certain that lots of celebrities do that. Call them up, have their publicist call up and say like, "Don't run this. This is fucked up." When they're doing anything about a celebrity, this has to be like a regular occurrence at SNL, right? Like it can't just be Taylor Swift.
I don't even know how they would find out, like unless
Well,
I guess
how
it
did Taylor
leaks.
Swift find out?
Well, because she's got people everywhere. She's got the deep state. She's
But
got the
this
Taylor
is
Swift deep state.
but this
working
is
for
when she
her.
was 20, remember? So like this, like I'm sure she reached out to Lorne Michaels specifically because like that era was she was struggling with bad press like an insane amount, and she always talks about what a struggle it was and how everybody was like, saying that she dated too many people or her model friends, whatever the fuck. It was a whole fucking emotional situation for her, I guess. And so I think at the time she was like, I don't, she probably felt really seriously about it, like I don't want any more of this fucking bad press, what the hell. But like the fact that she sent flowers afterwards, like I have to imagine lots of celebrities do that, and most of them don't send flowers afterwards. And so in that sense, I think Taylor Swift probably has a better sense of humor than a lot of people.
She's got a lot of chutzpah, that's for sure.
And she's got chutzpah. I mean, like the fact that Lorne Michaels said it was Taylor Swift personally calling him and not her publicist, chutzpah. Like, damn, like, all right.
And she's like 20, She's like, I'm gonna call him up and put an end to this. That's just like
also
delusional.
Let's not forget she's got a close relationship with SNL. She hosted like right before that era, and like has been like a musical guest and has been on skits multiple times. Like she's like got a friendly relationship with Lorne, clearly, like even now.
Yeah, she knows better. I mean, like, and he knows better. Like they don't. It doesn't benefit either of them to be.
He's got a really Gen X fucking disposition about fucking everything. Like just being like, oh, like pop stars. Like I don't negotiate with terrorists. Like what a fucking nerd.
He's 80. He's not a Gen X. He's
boomer. He
boomer.
wishes he was Gen X. He's got a Gen X way of being in the world, which I guess also translates to just kind of like rebellious boomer or whatever the fuck. Like he's got a
edgy late boomers.
Yeah, edgy late boomers. Like I watched the concert, the SNL 50 concert thing. I didn't watch the special, but I watched the concert the night before, and honestly, I loved it. I was like, this is an incredible concert. I thought it was great, but really Gen X taste. Like he clearly was like said to the producer of the show, like, I want like, don't get the youngins in here. I want the old shit. I want the Gen X shit. Like he had Devo, fucking David Byrne, like David Bowie songs, like, and they had Miley Cyrus sing "Nothing Compares to You." Isn't that kind of weird? A Sinead O'Connor song?
Well, it's a Prince song.
Well, was it originally Sinead?
No, it was original. It was Prince's song, but he gave it to Sinead to sing. But then she sort of made it her own.
Right, she performed it and he wrote it.
That's right.
But like, that wasn't a Prince tribute. Otherwise, they would have chosen a Prince song.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's funny. I just heard that song the other day, and I was like, God, it's like it doesn't even matter that it was Prince who wrote it. Like this is just her song.
It's a Sinead song. I mean, it just is. Like it's her song. Like we don't say that. Like I don't know, that Cardigan is a Jack Antonoff song, right? It's a Taylor Swift song.
Did he? I didn't even know that he wrote. I don't even know what song you're talking about.
He co-wrote it. It's a Taylor Swift song that he co-wrote. I could name other ones, but it's pointless.
So Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds attended the SNL 50th. I'm seeing pictures of them on the red carpet. Blake's dress is pretty good.
You want to describe it? What is she wearing?
It's like a silver, strappy floor-length gown. It's sparkly. It's like bejeweled. What do you call it when they have all that?
Yeah, it's like kind of it's beaded like
beaded,
like rhinestones. It looks like And then it's got like little like silver floral beaded belt with it, and like some like bigger sequins and stuff. So it's like different kinds of glitter, and then silver earrings to match it. What do you
Yeah,
think about Ryan Reynolds' outfit though? Is what I want to know more of. He's wearing like a 3-piece suit or a 2-piece suit and a bow tie that's just black, classic. But what are your
it's a
thoughts on that?
it's a tuxedo, isn't it?
Yeah, a tuxedo. Did I say suit?
Yeah, it's a tux. I think it's
Yeah, it's a
like,
tux.
I mean, it's like the tie looks a little big, but I mean, I don't know. I feel like I'm
It
nitpicking.
fits weird, I think.
It's a black tux. It's hard. I can't see, like Blake's standing in the picture that I'm looking at.
Yeah,
Blake is standing in front of half of him, so it's hard to see exactly. But I'd
but
be
it looks like the
surprised.
jacket's ill-fitting.
I'd be surprised if it really was. Let's see.
I mean, it's like it feels like the jacket's a little short. Maybe it feels like he's going for like a skinny cut when he really should not be, because that doesn't look good.
Yeah, you got to have the right. I mean, he has the good body for it, right? I feel like he could pull it
But
off.
I mean, even then, I feel like it's just more flattering to wear like a classic silhouette of a man's suit, you know, like something that's like a little looser pant, a little higher waistline, like a jacket with like big shoulder pad. Like it's there's a classic look there that you can kind of hit a middle ground with, and this feels a little skinny.
And doesn't the bow tie look a little big? Am I
Yeah, it
crazy?
looks kind of big. It looks a
Yeah,
little crazy.
looks a little crazy. I don't know
Yeah.
what's.
It's like big and kind of off center or something a little bit. He looks kind of nuts.
So wait, was Taylor Swift at the SNL 50 or no? She would not have appeared if Blake was going to be there, right? If she's putting this friendship on ice, doesn't she?
Yeah, that's true.
This is
Yeah,
something
I
about
was kind of wondering about that, but yeah, I mean that's probably part of why she didn't go.
and probably. I mean, who knows if she has a good relationship with Lauren? Maybe Taylor's like fuck Lauren, like he's
I mean,
the
she
enemy.
recently, or not that recently, but it was like 2 years ago, was a musical guest on SNL.
Yeah, but that's
But
different.
I guess it could just be contentious still.
I don't think she forgets. I think she holds on, but I could
No,
be
she
wrong.
never forgets.
That's right. She never forgets. So yeah, I get it. It seems like Taylor Swift's publicist, in coordination with Taylor, has put this this kind of PR campaign into motion to try to just disassociate Taylor from this lawsuit.
Yeah, because I think like anybody can see, like you or I could see, but definitely any publicist, it's just that like this is heading in a bad direction. Like whoever wins the lawsuit, it's not going to be like, yay, Blake Lively, she won, she was so right. Like either way, it's going to be bad publicity for Blake. And like we all saw the Johnny Depp Amber Heard situation. Like I'll bet Taylor's publicity is just like the whole team is probably just like, we need to just be as far away from this as physically possible.
So for anybody listening, if you ever fuck with me or say bad shit about me, Mira is one of my dragons, and I will send
Yeah.
her after you.
That's right. That's right.
And I am Khaleesi, the queen of. I'm the mother of dragons, and Mira is one of my dragon children.
Did you watch Game of Thrones, Brad?
I did. In fact, it's a shame we weren't doing the show when I was, because I was like always marveling at the fact that I watched every single minute of that series and I don't understand a single fucking thing that happened. I couldn't tell you anything. I know Khaleesi had dragons, but I don't know who was fighting whom or like why they were mad or what was going on. I was just like, I just let it wash over me.
Only hold the plot episode to episode, and even then, barely.
Yeah, it was like the Red Wedding. I was like, but it was so beautiful to look at, such an expensive production, and the landscapes were gorgeous, and I like things where I'm in another world. Like get me out.
Yeah, very Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, get me out of this world and into like fantasy land, and I'll sit there and just watch it. But I don't want to, if I'm watching a television show, it's usually like late at night, and I don't want to have to work that hard to understand anything.
You just want to vibe.
Yeah, like I don't need to learn like elfin language and we'll understand like all these names and the families and the ranks, and I was like, okay,
it's too fucking much. Yeah, I mean, like same. I don't know what any of them are named. Like you could show me like one of like I know who Jon Snow is and who Khaleesi is, and like that's probably where my knowledge of names ends. Like
yeah,
I don't know who the rest are at all. Like I'm like, oh yeah, I recognize that actor, but I don't know who the fuck he was in that shit. Which maybe is why Blake Lively said this, because maybe she forgot about the ending of Game of Thrones being like Khaleesi psychotically like bombing and murdering everybody with her dragons. Like destroying all of King's Landing and just burning the shit out of everyone, murdering the whole world and losing her mind. She was not a good guy.
No.
She was like very bad, in fact.
Yeah. I don't know what's going to happen. I hope Friends. I think like maybe after this subsides, maybe there can be a reconciliation. But I kind of feel like once you burn Taylor Swift, you don't get back to the same level you were at before. You don't get
No.
you don't get two swings. You get like one swing, and you either pass the test or you fail.
Yeah, and if you fail, it's like you don't really get a second chance, like you're saying. It's just that's about it. And like her good friends are the ones who like have not failed for many years, and even then, it's like I feel like everybody is just like one bad fuck up away from like losing her as a friend.
Could you be friends with her? Would you collapse under the pressure?
No, I don't think I would collapse. I'm like honestly, and I don't like say this to toot my own horn or anything like that, but I'm just like not that impressed with famous people. Like there are famous people I'd be really impressed by, and obviously I'm like a huge Taylor Swift fan, like without a doubt.
That's what I mean.
But
Like she's like your queen. Like if you met her, you would be totally fine.
I don't know if I'd be. I mean, I think I would be excited and I'd be nervous. Like I don't think it'd be totally fine. I think that I would be like, holy shit, that's Taylor Swift. Like what the fuck? Like she's so tall and beautiful. That's crazy. But I do think that like I would be capable.
I would pay money to see like a hidden video of you meeting Taylor Swift.
I like if it was like in the any context that I would now meet Taylor Swift in, we would not be friends because it would clearly be a context of like you're the musician and I'm the fan. There is no peer relationship here. Like you're Taylor Swift, I'm just some person. Like in any situation where I would meet Taylor at this point in my life.
Right.
But if it was like we had mutual friends and like she happened to be at a party or something like that, I do think that I could say like I love your music, I'm a big fan, and then talk to her like a normal person for the rest of the night. Like I do think that like that is, and like which is not to say that I'm the most socially adept person or like whatever, but like I think that like not letting fame make me weird when I'm interacting with somebody is one thing that I am capable of.
I wonder if she could do it. Like, can she? I guess she's like mingling with the Kansas City Chiefs fans and shit. Like,
Yeah, I mean, like everybody who's ever met her just says that like she's like the nicest person ever, and that she's like so sweet. Like, there's never been somebody being like, "Oh yeah, I didn't get along with Taylor Swift," or like she was a bitch to me. Like any situation where she has to interact with normal people.
a buddy of mine photographed her years ago and said she was cold, but who
Cold,
knows?
yeah. But like, I mean, what does cold mean when people are talking about like women? Like, it's like people will just say that shit if you're a little quiet or if you're like not being like extremely loud and friendly and giggly or whatever. Like maybe his jokes weren't funny.
Right? Who knows? I don't know, man. It's also crazy. I feel like in a weird way, I feel bad for Blake Lively because I think she's going through this like weird public scandal with Baldoni, and she's like, he was kind of harassing her, right?
Yeah, that's
And
like she's suing him for sexual harassment.
yeah, and I think that's legit. I think he's a creep. Like from what I've gleaned,
And I
he's
think
like,
a lot of other people on set felt the same way.
so she was kind of trying to like get him to call off the dogs, and so she was kind of throwing out the biggest threats she could think of, and like Taylor Swift's like cultural power, but to use that as like leverage.
It was a bad fucking idea, like really bad idea.
But I understand it. I understand
right.
it emotionally. I don't think she was trying to hurt Taylor. I think she was just like,
certainly not. In like a text that she thought no one else would ever see,
Right.
like that's like, and like I also like what you're saying. I think is right, and that like she is also a producer on the movie, and so I think there was like being harassed and her trying to like avoid that kind of harassment, and then trying to also have her vision be part of the movie. And like I could see where like throwing around Taylor Swift as like a token of power like would feel like a good way to protect herself in this moment. Like if you don't listen to me and like stop harassing me and take my ideas seriously, then like the most famous person in the world who's my friend is not going to like you anymore or whatever. It's kind of the card that you pull when you're like backed into a corner as a celebrity.
Let me put it to you this way: if Taylor and Blake are genuinely buddies, like they're good gal pals, then I hope they make up. I don't think this is I don't think this is grounds to like officially end a friendship or anything. I think like this is forgivable and understandable. It's not advisable, and I think like Blake should apologize, but she wasn't trying to like throw Taylor under the bus or like sully her. This was totally like a private text that she didn't expect to be public, and then it goes public, and it's just kind of an accident. And I don't know.
Yeah,
Water
I mean, I
water
tend
under
to
the bridge.
agree. Like, I don't know that Taylor will forgive her because, like, I think for Taylor, like, any publicity issues are like a personal slight that she takes like incredibly seriously. But I hope that they become friends again because I think that really was the case for them. They seem like they were genuinely close and like they really were girlfriends. And I hope this horrible man didn't get in the way of that. Although I cannot imagine being close girlfriends with somebody who would call me one of her dragons.
What is the song about this going to be? Isn't Taylor going to write?
Oh.
Is Taylor going to write a song about this? You would think she would.
Yeah, I feel like it'll be like a extended dragon metaphor of some kind. Like,
Right.
you know, like the knight killing the dragon or some shit like that. Like it would be some kind of like extended fairy tale dragon metaphor that was like a slightly different take on like a classic, like, you know, fairy tale that people know about. And then it's also kind of gay in a way that is hard to discern.
Like a gay dragon. Like
Yeah,
something.
gay dragon, lesbian dragons.
I
It's
feel
a
like
lesbian dragon song.
or it's going to be like something about how she's the queen. Like, I'm the queen.
Right, like you
I'm
think
the
you're the
mother.
queen.
You think
It would
you're
be
the
like
queen.
I'm a dragon and a queen. Like I can be both at the same time, unlike you, lady. Oh, good transition. Speaking of queens, our next story is about the royal family.
Here
That was a pretty good transition, right?
That was elegant. That was an elegant segue.
Thank you. So Meghan Markle has been forced to rebrand American Riviera Orchard into As Ever 2 weeks before the Netflix show launched. So she's got a lifestyle brand, I believe, right? She's like selling fucking candles and shit like that.
What the fuck is a lifestyle brand?
Yeah, it's meaningless, is what it is. It's like something
just
that
like
people just fucking say.
We sell shit at like that's way overpriced in like some sort of aspirational context.
I guess that's what it's got to be, right? Like, but they also have these Netflix shows. Is that what she's talking about?
What?
I don't even know. Like, she's got these Netflix shows. Like, is her company encompassing those shows, or is it like a separate thing? Like, I don't even fucking know.
Yeah, there's a series of trademark setbacks.
Oh, a new website for the brand. Let's see if this website will even get close to explaining what the fuck this is. Nope, it doesn't. All it is a splash page where you can put your email. I literally am looking at this whole article and I have no fucking idea what her company does. Why is she renaming it if it doesn't exist?
I think she says 2 weeks before there's a new Netflix show called With Love, Megan.
Right.
Premieres. She had to. She admitted in an Instagram video that she had to change the name from American Riviera Orchard to As Ever following a series of trademark setbacks. After acknowledging that there has been a lot of curiosity about the launch of her company, Markle shared, quote, "Last year I thought, you know what, American Riviera, that sounds like such a great name. It's my neighborhood. It's a nickname for Santa Barbara, but it limited me to things that were just manufactured and grown in this area." Not really.
Yeah, also, like, so she's saying she changed the brand name so that she can, like, look for cheaper ingredients elsewhere? Like,
or, like, maybe there were...
not source things locally?
I mean, trademark setbacks kind of make sense. Like, maybe there was already, like, a claim on American Riviera.
Right, sure.
And so
that would make sense.
She was worried about having, like, total ownership, and, you know, that makes sense.
But imagine, like, announcing the name of your company before getting the trademark. That's very stupid.
Yeah, well, she's not exactly like a experienced entrepreneur. This is her first go.
Jam. Okay, here we go. I found out what the company did. In 2023, she soft launched the brand by selling strawberry jam. And now instead of calling it American Riviera Orchard, she is calling it As Ever. So it'll be like As Ever fruit preserves or whatever the fuck. But so far she's only ever sold jam.
It's so fucking weird.
What the fuck, man?
Why is she selling jam?
I mean, why is she selling jam, and why does it have to be not sourced in California? And why is her company at all anything different than any other company if it's not sourced in Santa Barbara or California? Like, isn't that what would have made it unique at all? Besides that, it's just jam.
You're just going to sell jelly? That's what you're doing?
That's what she's doing. She's like married to a real prince, and she's like, I'm out here fucking hawking jam on the side of the road. Like what the hell? Like, and like, I'm sorry, you're making like, again, you're making strawberry jam. There's lots of strawberries in California. So like, why can't she do that?
She's making soap.
Oh my god.
Candles. Who knows?
I mean, I'm sure.
It'll probably make her a fortune. I mean, people want to like have a piece of this thing for, you know, for
Are you going to buy
reason.
anything when it launches?
I don't think so. I think they should send us shit just for talking about it. We should get a gift
Yeah, we should
basket.
taste test the jam.
That's right. Send me
the whole gift basket will just be a jam jar in a basket.
I'm sure that Megan and her team are listening. I think they should send us a care package.
They're big fans of the podcast, actually.
They are. Here's the thing. Like, it's a debacle so far, this company, because she doesn't seem to have like a real identity. Like, no one knows what the fuck it's doing.
Yeah, I mean, like, I had to scroll to the fucking bottom of this article to find out that she's selling jam. I had no idea what the whole company even was. I thought maybe it was a production company.
And then I think we've talked about how they had that Spotify deal and they like couldn't make a podcast. Like, they couldn't do it. And like,
that is so fucking insane.
Like, yeah, like you got like $40 million to make podcasts and they like couldn't.
And you didn't even try making a podcast beforehand? Like,
I don't
to make
get
sure
it.
They could do it?
And making a podcast is one of the easiest things to do. Like it's one of the easiest human endeavors, right? It's just like,
yeah, it's
talk
very
on a
easy.
podcast, and they couldn't do it. And I'm like, well, okay, now we're going to make a company, but we don't know what it is. And we have to keep renaming it.
And then why couldn't they do a podcast where could Harry and Meghan just like not talk to each other for long enough?
I think it was like they couldn't land on a concept that they felt good about. It was just like, I don't know. It's like some sort of creative block or something. And
what the fuck?
They're very worried about their image, kind of like Taylor Swift, which like I think is understandable on a certain level. Like, you know, everyone's going to be ready to like take them down. Do you know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of people out there who have animosity, and you know, I think.
But it's like they're not doing a great job of like I don't know, doing something that gets rid of that animosity. I mean, this certainly just gives me more animosity.
Yeah, it's like you're just fueling it. And it's like, I feel like if I were advising them, I would be like, just do good works. Like, that's it. You have a ton of... But I don't feel like they think they have a lot of money. I think for them, because they have to pay a security detail and...
They're used to being in the royal family. Like,
yeah,
it's not
where
the
everything's...
same.
Yeah, it's not the same. They're used to having, yeah, exactly. Their royal family's got like a operating budget in like the 9 figures or whatever. And like,
right.
You know, they're just like, you know, they're on their own with just like $50 million. I hope they're going to be okay.
Yeah. Oh my God. How will they manage? Like their bank account is draining.
You know, but I mean, just from a pure PR perspective, if they just did good works and kept their heads down and like didn't even seek publicity,
they'd be much better.
They would end up getting publicity anyway, just because of who they are.
Yeah, of course they would. You know, like, and even if they did that and tried to get publicity over it, it would still be good for them. Like, even if they were going into volunteering places and being like, you know, doing good things in the world, like, and they called publicists to take pictures of it, people would still be like, that's great.
And like, why does it's like the Netflix of everything drives me crazy. Like, why is it like you're Megan Markle and Harry, and like the best you can do, and like Barack Obama, get a Netflix deal. Fuck Netflix. I'm so sick of Netflix.
Jesus Christ.
Everything on Netflix sucks. Like, you're just like...
It does. It all fucking sucks shit. Yeah. And it's like, okay, they're giving like $1 bajillion to Harry and Meghan, but David Lynch couldn't get his fucking last film financed. Come on. Like, what the fuck is wrong with everyone?
Yeah. Fuck you. I'm so sick of it.
Yeah, fuck Netflix.
Glad we...
Netflix, if you're listening...
Ted Sarandos, another huge fan of the show, I believe, is...
Did you just know the CEO of Netflix's name off the top of your head?
Yes, and you want to know why? Because every fucking celebrity that I hear interviewed on like a podcast or whatever drops his name.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
They want you to know that they know him. Oh, yeah.
That's so fucking annoying.
I was having dinner with Ted Sarandos at Jennifer Aniston's house, and I was talking to I
was having dinner with my sugar daddy.
Yeah, I was talking to Ted Sarandos, and like, that's the thing. The dude has his hands on significant purse strings, and suddenly like everybody's just like bowing to him.
So gross.
It's just...
God, what a fucking... And it's like all because like some guy's the CEO of like what a company that like ruined every fucking movie theater in the country. Like Jesus Christ, like that, like just like if you love like film or movies, like it just seems like Netflix is doing everything they can to destroy them.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it was like this is the thing that nobody wants to hear, but is often, but not always true. Sometimes it was better the old way.
Mm-hmm.
Like music was better when you had to go to the music store and buy the record or buy the cassette tape, or it was better that way. And then you
I
took
mean,
the album home.
yeah,
Like I get that it's convenient to stream every song in your phone or whatever, but
but at
like
least I feel like there could be a balance, right? Like at least like with movies, like it feels like okay, fine, there are reasons why people would want to stream things at home instead of going to a theater, but like can't we have a good balance of both? Like can't we do like theatrical releases and also have streaming platforms to like rent movies or whatever the fuck? Like what? Like why does Netflix have to like go after specifically theatrical releases? Like
it's the competition, baby. And
it's
like that's the thing.
bullshit.
Going to a movie in the theater way better than watching it at home, or it's definitely better than watching it on your phone. I mean, for God's sakes, like
I mean, Jesus, do people watch whole movies on their phone? That seems crazy.
the only time I can see it as being defensible is like if you're traveling, like if you're on a plane or something, and that's
Sure.
just. But otherwise, I just took, I think we were talking about this. I took Evan, my daughter, to see the Bob Dylan movie, and it was in the theater, and it was delightful. I was like, this is great.
Did Evan like it, or was she like, Jesus, Dad, this is so boring. I want to go home?
I mean, I think she enjoyed it, maybe not as much as I did. Like, I think she
Yeah.
was kind of like, all right,
The
like,
theater is just like a fun experience either way, though.
it's just nice. And because your phone is, turned off and you're just locked in and you're in the dark, and it's nice. It's good. I need to do it more often. I need to just go to the movie theater.
I mean, I love going to the movies. Hit me up anytime. Unless it's a movie that Tyler wants to see, in which case you'll have to hit him up as well. I mean, I love going to the movies. It's my favorite. Well, last movie I went to was Nosferatu on Christmas Day, and it was incredible. Incredible movie experience. 10 out of 10.
Wow.
Yeah. The movie
All
theater
right.
is my fave.
Yeah. It's a temple. It's a kind of temple. It's a dream palace.
It's a dream palace. And on that note,
On that note, this is the most romantic ending to an episode of Brad and Mira for the Culture. Think about how, like, there is something I have a lot of love for it. Especially like old school, like growing up, going to the movies. Like those are great experiences.
yeah, I love the movies. It's my favorite. I love going to movies like alone even. It's
Yeah.
I love the theater.
When I was in high school, I used to go to a movie by myself every Sunday night after I had my license. I would just go to the theater and just sit in the theater. That's how much I loved it.
Damn. I mean, yeah, I've done that in the past, like in New York City or whatever, walking from job to job, being like, I have 4 hours to kill or whatever the hell. Like,
Yeah.
let's just go see a movie.
That's right. What's like the most, what is, can you think of a seeing in a movie in a theater experience that like totally blew your mind? Like where you can remember it, like which theater you were at and like.
Hereditary. Because like I went and I saw Hereditary, the Ari Aster movie with Toni Collette. And like I hadn't looked it up or heard anything about it. I just knew that it was a scary movie, and my friends were like, Mira, you'd like this. And I went to go see it, and like, well, I don't want to. There's a scene in the movie that is incredibly shocking and incredibly terrifying and involves a head getting knocked off of like a girl getting decapitated basically while driving in a car, and like it is like the most fucked up frightening scene, and I like had zero preparation for what it was going to be, and you don't see it coming. They're just like driving, and like you do not ever expect that that's going to happen. And I love being scared. Like I love a scary movie. I love being terrified in a dark movie theater. And like that bit, I remember reaching over and like grabbing Tyler's arm, being like, what the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? Like it was just so intense, and everybody in the theater was like so scared that like they kind of went from like gasping to almost laughing because you could hear how afraid everybody else was in the theater. And like that was really good. Being that afraid with a group of people in a theater, like just like hearing everybody be like, oh, and then like, kind of laughing at themselves. That was really fun.
Yeah, no, I feel like horror movies are good in the theater for that reason. Like when
Yeah.
because the crowd response is like part of the fun.
Yeah. What about you?
I think, I mean, I have a couple. I'll just do one. I saw Borat in the theater. That was like maybe the like the wildest comedy experience in a theater that I've ever had. Like listening to the crowd, like the
Yeah.
people were screaming. Like that movie when it came out, because no one knew really who he was, right? It was all like brand new, and like that style of doing it, and it was just, I mean, I still love that movie. I think Sacha
Yeah.
Baron Cohen is a genius. Like he's so fucking funny. And that
Man, I
movie,
fucking hate his ass. He's annoying. He's really fucking funny when he wants to be, but he seems like a real annoying piece of shit in real life. Really,
is he canceled now? What did he do?
he's just like a really like gross Zionist, like who hates Arab people and is just like really disgusting about it. It just, yeah, like just still being like, go Israel, like whatever, Hamas needs to be killed, even though like all of Palestine is leveled. Like just gross man. A very gross man. But he has been really funny in the past. That is true. It's unfortunate to admit.
He's a party to a horrible mass murder, but we have to admit that he's made me chuckle.
I mean,
multiple
look,
times.
Hugo Boss dressed the Nazis, but we have to admit that he's still, pretty good at creating silhouettes.
I just want people to be good. I want people to be good and nice and happy.
Yeah, you can make that wish next time you blow up birthday candles and see if it works.
I'll blow out 50 coming up in August. Get ready.
Wow. Coming up in August, everybody.
What are you gonna get me for my birthday, Mira?
I mean, I gotta start thinking about it now. I gotta put some real thought into it. What'd you get me for my birthday?
Listi at 50. When you turn 50, I'll get you something.
Okay, fair.
I have not ever, I don't care about my birthday in general. It's just like another day, but this is the first one where I'm like, okay.
Brad's big 50.
I made it to fucking 50 years old. There's something that feels like I'm old now.
Are you going to have a party? You should have a party.
I don't know what I'm going to do.
Do it like a kid's birthday party. You get like a moon bounce, get like some ponies and shit like that. That would be like, honestly, so fun as a grown up. Go to horse rides, go pet some goats or something. Get some guy who does balloon animals.
We'll do goat yoga in my backyard.
Wait, I was actually looking into goat yoga yesterday, weirdly enough, and they do have goat yoga in Los Angeles, and I do feel like we should probably actually go for real because it seems incredible.
Yeah, like you just do yoga with goats, and like goats like
little
they
baby
climb
goats.
They climb on you and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you just do the yoga in a room with a bunch of baby goats, and they climb all over you.
I've been doing yoga again lately. I stopped for a little while. I've been doing it for almost more than 30 years, and started going back to hot yoga and vinyasa flow.
Man,
it's good. I like
hot yoga is so fucking crazy. That's like regular yoga is enough. I don't need it to be hot also.
But I know it's intense, but it feels so good to I love to wring myself out like that, just to be completely flushed.
Oh my God. Last time I saw Brad in real life, he regaled us with a tale of going to hot yoga and sweating so much that you formed a puddle on the floor and your towel was drenched.
Yeah, I needed, like, what I realized, because I hadn't been, that was like my first time back, and I realized that like I need 2 towels. Like there's the towel on your mat, and then that's the one that gets really sweaty, and then you need like another towel to like squeegee.
We were really fucking cracking the fuck up. Brad and like a group of like beautiful women. Brad's in just a puddle of his own sweat.
And I'm just like slipping and just, it looks like it was so disgusting. I was so disgusted with myself.
God. Yeah, see, that's like, I don't want to go sweat in a room with a bunch of people, I don't think. I think I'm good on that.
And you're like, if it's crowded, like your mats are like 2 inches apart. It's like, you're right. It's body to body. It's so intense.
I don't like it. People must smell.
They burn sage. I don't know. It's weird. Like you get in there and you just sort of lock in and you kind of forget about it. I can do that. I just turn off, but
you should start going to Soul Cycle.
I've been in
You've been to Soul Cycle?
I have been to Soul Cycle. I did Soul Cycle once in New York City, and I remember like being in the Soul Cycle temple. It's like a temple. It's like they got like it's like tiered. There's like stadium kind of.
Yeah, it's like dark, and like there's like a guy lit on the stage with like a little Madonna style microphone.
Yeah, and like the candles are lit and stuff. But I remember being in there and doing the class, and I'm like on my bike, like working really hard, and I look across the temple, and Jenna Bush was on a bike across from me, but I couldn't decide if it was actually her. You know that feeling where you're like, so I'm like, I'm climbing, and the dude is like, telling me to find my
Yeah, Shania Twain blasting in the background.
Yeah, just find your inner light and like change
Let's
your
go,
life.
girls.
And I'm like, is that Jenna Bush? And it was.
Man, seeing a celebrity in an exercise class is like gotta be up there with my worst nightmares of all time.
Well, no, I mean, I've done yoga next to many celebrities in my life. I used to do yoga next to Charlize all the time.
Wow.
Heather Graham, Jewel, Gina
Jewel.
Gershon.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, this is way back in the day. I'm trying to think. Joel McHale, remember him?
Wow.
The guy.
Yeah, of course.
They've all been. You go to LA yoga classes. They're all there.
Damn.
You know, want to know one of the most random one? I did
Yeah.
yoga one time, and Alexander Payne
That is really random.
was in my yoga class. I was like, oh, and I probably was one of the only people who even realized it. But
Yeah, I don't know if I would recognize Alexander Payne. I don't think I would.
I don't know why I did, but I did.
Man.
So
that would
I'll
just like haunt
report.
me for the rest of my life. Like I'd be like, who was that guy? Who was that guy? Who was that guy?
I mean, yeah, and it's just like I feel bad as a guy, just because guys smell more, they sweat more, they're disgusting.
Yeah,
in general.
That's true. I gotta be real with you.
I try to be considerate. That's why I like the second towel, so that if there's any dripping, I can just I can take care of it and like not be grossing
In a
people
puddle.
out. No, yeah, that's bad manners, I feel like. All right. Well, I will report on any future site. If I keep going to yoga, I'll report on if I see anything interesting.
Yeah, please do.
And maybe one day, Mira, we can go to hot yoga together, and Mira could potentially
kill myself,
kill everyone in the room. Mira
one or the other. There's gonna be ambulances either way.
Yeah, just slide. Because I remember when we went hiking and you overheated, and I thought
I was so mad. I was so mad because I was also pushing my baby sister on a stroller, and she was like asleep, chilling, and I was just like red as sun blaring in my eyes. I had no hat. I was like, Brad, I'm gonna fucking kill you. I will kill you with a gun, Brad.
Let's go to hot yoga and get your core temperature up to like 120 degrees.
Oh my god. I do not do well in heat, folks. It's not where I belong. I do not like any weather above fucking 75. 75 is even pushing it. Like, nope. Couldn't be me. I am very flexible though, naturally, despite not working on it.
I'm trying in my old age. That's the thing. I gotta stay. I want to be able to touch my toes when I'm 80, if I make it there.
My great grandma could put her feet behind her head until she was 80.
Is she single?
And then she got a hip replacement, and then she's single. She's dead, but my great grandma.
Yeah, she is single in the afterlife.
So yeah, I mean, she is single. Unless my great grandpa is there, but he probably went to the other place, the lower place where my great grandma.
But your great grandma, maybe that's where your brother gets it, because your brother's a contortionist.
I mean, I do think it's on both sides of the family though. Like my dad is also a big yogi and is like very, very naturally flexible. So I think like we kind of have it from all angles.
Your dad does yoga a lot?
Yeah. He went to Bangalore, India for a couple of months with my brother many years ago to study with Guruji, I think was his name. So he's like do you know who that is? I barely do.
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, there was Patanjali, who was like the Ashtanga guy.
Is that that's maybe who I'm thinking of. I think it was the Ashtanga guy.
That would be Patanjali. But there could be, I mean, there's all sorts of gurus. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe it was another one. I have no idea. It was some master fucking guy. He was a creep.
There's a lot of pervy. Yeah, I was going to say, there's stories, like the women go over there to study and like,
Yeah. I think this guy actually may have been canceled for doing something creepy now that I think about it.
Well, I want to say Patanjali used to grope women and like have him sit on his lap and shit.
Yeah, this sounds like the same guy. Maybe I just like, did he ever have like a nickname, the nickname Guruji?
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'll
that or it's just like another very similar life story.
We should do a GoFundMe and have our listeners, try to raise money so that we can go to India and spend some time on an ashram and record the show live.
Yeah, I'll like go up to the monks and be like, does anyone have weed? Like just a little bit of weed, please. This is hell.
Yeah, that's right. We'll take Mira off weed and we'll go travel to India and live on an ashram and see what happens.
It'll be great. Yeah, let's put Mira in like hot nature without any weed. That's going to go well for everybody. What could possibly go wrong?
Just the whole thing it'll be like an audio documentary about your collapse. Just your mental.
mentally and physically.
That's right. That's right. At the end of Mira.
I mean, I would just protest at some point or just lay on the ground and be like, no, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I
Hunger
don't know if
strike.
I wonder if I would thrive. I've like that's the thing, for as much yoga and as like Buddhist as I am, like I'm always a little leery of those scenes. I'm like, that seems like
It's a little culty.
it's a little culty. It's just get
Yeah.
weird. I don't need it. I feel like maybe I'm not ready to commit or something.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. I don't like those. I don't want to be in some place where there's like some guy who everybody thinks is like a guru, Jesus type, like, period. I just don't want that at all. Mm-mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not a good
Yeah.
vibe.
That's right. All right, Mira. Well, you are the mother of dragons.
I thought you were the mother of dragons,
Oh yeah, that's right.
and I was
am
one
the
of
mother.
them.
I will send Mira out to breathe fire on all of you.
That's right. That's right.
But thank you guys for listening out there, wherever you are. Hope you're doing well. We will be back next week, right?
Yeah, next week we'll be back.
Okay.
Bye-bye.